Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna. Manifesting text 49, text 50 and text 51 of chapter 15, the Pandavas retire timely of first canto creation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 49. Viduro api parityajya prabha se dehamatmanah Krishna veshen tacha chittah pitrubhiha swakshayam yo. Vidur, while on pilgrimage, left his body at Prabhas. Because he was absorbed in thought of Krishna, he was received by the denizens of the Pitrulok planet, where he returned to his original post. The difference between the Pandavas and Vidur is that the Pandavas are eternal associates of the Lord, the personality of Godhead, whereas Vidur is one of the administrative demigods in charge of the Pitrulok planet and is known as Yamraj. Men are afraid of Yamraj because it is he only who awards punishment to the miscreants of the material world, but those who are devotees of the Lord have nothing to fear from him. To the devotees he is a cordial friend, but to the non-devotees he is fear personified. As we have already discussed, it is understood that Yamraj was cursed by Manduk Muni to be degraded as a Shudra, and therefore Vidur was an incarnation of Yamraj. As an eternal servitor of the Lord, he displayed his devotional activities very ardently and lived a life of a pious man, so much so that a materialistic man like Dhritarashtra also got salvation by his instruction. So by his pious activities in the devotional service of the Lord, he was able to always remember the lotus feet of the Lord, and thus he became washed off all contamination of a Shudra-born life. At the end, he was again received by the denizens of the Pitrulok and posted in his original position. The demigods are also associates of the Lord without personal touch, whereas the direct associates of the Lord are in constant personal touch with him. The Lord and his personal associates incarnates in many universes without cessation. The Lord remembers them all, whereas the associates forget due to their being very minute parts and parcels of the Lord. They are apt to forget such incidents due to being infinite simul. This is corroborated in the Bhagavad Gita 4.5. Text 50. Draupadi cha tadadnyaya patinam na pekshatam Vasudeve Bhagavati Hare Kantam Tirapatam. Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands. When flying an airplane, one cannot take care of other planes. Everyone has to take care of his own plane, and if there is any danger, no other plane can help another in that condition. Similarly, at the end of life, when one has to go back home, back to Godhead, everyone has to take care of himself without help rendered by another. The help is, however, offered on the ground before flying in space. Similarly, the spiritual master, the father, the mother, the relatives, the husband and others can all render help during one's lifetime, but while crossing the sea, one has to take care of himself and utilize the instructions formerly received. Draupadi had 5 husbands, and no one asked Draupadi to come. Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husbands. And because she was already trained, she at once took to concentration upon the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The wives also got the same result as their husbands. In the same manner, that is to say, without changing their bodies, they reached the destination of Godhead. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur suggests that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although her name is not mentioned herein, got the same result. None of them had to quit the body. Text 51. Yaha Shraddha Yaitada Bhagavad Priyanam Pandoha Sutanamiti Samaprayanam Shrunotyalam Swastya Yanam Pavitram Labdhva Harau Bhakti Mupaiti Siddhim. The subject of the departure of the sons of Pandu for the ultimate goal of life back to Godhead is fully auspicious and is perfectly pure. Therefore, anyone who hears this narration with devotional faith certainly gains the devotional service of the Lord, the highest perfection of life. Srimad Bhagavatam is a narration about the personality of Godhead and the devotees of the Lord like the Pandavas. The narration of the personality of Godhead and his devotees is absolute in itself, and thus to hear it with the devotional attitude is to associate with the Lord and constant companions of the Lord. By the process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one can attain the highest perfection of life, namely going back home, back to Godhead without failure. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Pandavas Retire Timely. Hare Krishna.